You know what my favorite kind of videos are?
What, porn?
The ones that are like,
gay porn?
I can't get a word in edgewise because you keep talking about porno.
Yeah.
This sounds like the intro that should have been on last week's.
Oh, yeah, 69.
Welcome back to the No Big Banana Podcast. My name is Charles.
My name is Justin.
What I was trying to say is the videos that I like are the ones that'll be like...
Penis and balls?
It'll be like Toto's Africa, but it's all of the words are in alphabetical order.
Yeah. I also really like the ones where it's like, hey, yeah, but every yeah or makes the video speed up.
Yeah.
So good.
And then the ones that... I saw another one that was... there's one that's like Sweet Caroline, but the horns are guns.
Oh, I heard one.
Literally,
it's
the
like,
only change of it is like...
I forget the actual song, but it's like all of the claps are replaced with the Law and Order Dun-Dun.
Oh my God, I would
so
love
good.
that song.
I'll have to try to find it.
One of them was Billie Jean, but every other beat is missing.
Ooh.
That'll fuck with your head.
Yeah.
You listen to those, you're like, what
Jesus.
even
What
am
is
I
rhythm?
listening to? Yeah.
I really finally understand being white.
It's really weird. So how have you been, man? I feel like I haven't seen you as much lately. I feel like we went a period where we saw each other like every day for like a week.
Yeah.
And then now I haven't seen you like since last week.
Yeah. It's weekly now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been all right. How about you?
I'm good. We're going to be, we'll be hanging out a lot more playing Among Us.
Oh, dude, I'm so fucking hyped for this
Oh
shit.
my gosh. I feel like the Fuddy-Duddy of them all.
Fuddiest Duddy of them all.
Yeah, like a Fuddy-Duddy.
You sound like you're making words.
Yeah,
but I
but
don't think they're
Fuddy-Duddy's a
words.
real thing.
What is it?
It's just like somebody who's like...
Oh, it's
got like a
Fuddy-Duddy.
stick
It's
up
like somebody
their
who's being
ass.
Fuddy-Duddy.
No, it's like a square.
Okay.
Like somebody who's like a...
Like
uptight.
jive?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Like, well, I don't think Fuddy-Duddy's jive necessarily, but that's it's in that wheelhouse. It's in that same world of like somebody with a stick in their ass, like
Okay.
somebody who's boring. So I feel like the funniest of Duddies being so late on the fucking Among Us train
I was
because
like,
it
but you're
looks so
excited.
fun, and I want to play with fans and stuff.
Yeah.
Holy shit! First of all, let me give a shout out to Lance, this guy we met who is a fan of ours who played with us on Warzone.
Oh, okay.
He's so funny. It was
So
so
funny.
funny playing with it, dude.
So funny.
We were playing and he
So
got
crazy.
killed by somebody and he was like, "Oh my God, that guy just punched my dick in." And I laughed so hard, I thought I would die.
I thought my dick got punched in.
Oh my God, it was so funny. He was like, "This guy hit me in the pecker with his shield." It was really funny. He's a funny dude.
I've never played Warzone.
I'm looking
so
forward
I
to
don't-
playing more with it. You should. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. I've been playing Path of Exile.
I don't know what that is.
It's like Diablo, but it's like on fucking steroids. It's disgusting. Like, I got to level 2, and it was like, oh, here's the what do you call it, passive tree. And the way that they do it is they're trying to make it so that like when you pick a character class, you're not like tied into one style of play. So like instead of like if you pick a warrior type, you're not stuck to just weapons or just tanking or just DPS. You can also cast magic.
Oh, I think you've told me about this
Yeah,
before.
and it's a nightmare to look at. It's like a fucking Rubik's cube, like set to like 5,000.
Well, I'm excited about Among Us because it's
That's cool. Not like what I had fucking said.
yeah,
Any
not
kind of
I'm not too interested in that because are we gonna play that together?
We could.
No, not likely.
This could be us.
I'm not gonna
Bet
play
you
Path of
there's-
Exile. You're not gonna play Warzone, but we're both gonna play Among Us.
Yeah.
and that shit is gonna be.
Yeah.
It's gonna get crazy.
Yeah.
Fast.
Oh yeah.
Especially.
If you don't think I'm gonna lie my fucking ass off?
Yeah,
the
I know,
entire time?
and you'll have an advantage because
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see the dynamics of advantages because like Justin and Melissa are a couple, but like Justin and I have known each other for like 15 years, and like Justin and Kurt have known each other since they were like 10.
You mean Sarah's taken?
So, oh yeah, yes.
Sorry,
God.
simp lords.
Well, yeah, let that be public, to all you cucks out there. Just
Fucking
relax.
simps. Jesus Christ.
I think her hissing and saying beta in Vampire Edition is the best line I've ever written for her.
Yeah, but it probably also like turned on like the masses. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
good. Well,
fuck.
I mean, hey, they
Hey, if
watched
it gets-
the video.
hey, if it gets more ad revenue,
Look,
baby.
I can delete the creepy comments.
Yeah.
You can't give me back your view. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
It's not like it's not like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off where you just like turn the car on reverse and just like let it ride for like an hour and a half.
That movie is so good.
You know, I just watched Blazing Saddles again for the first time in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
That movie could not be made.
No way.
Nowadays.
You
I
couldn't,
forgot.
You couldn't even...
Although, like, goddamn, it like that one scene with like Gene Wilder where he's like, "See this? Stiff as a board, but this is the hand to shoot with." It's just like cuts her ass. It's so good.
Oh, my gosh. What else has been going on? Oh, I finally started the Umbrella Academy season 2.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty good.
isn't Umbrella Academy like X-Men, but like Netflix?
It... Kind of. You haven't seen it at all?
No,
It's good.
I don't watch things with human beings in it.
It's enjoyable.
3D is too below my taste.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. You could come if you want to jump off of your cloud and come join the rest of us for a moment. The
Nah,
Umbrella
I like it up
Academy
here.
The Umbrella Academy is good.
I'm sure it is.
It's
Sure fucking Game of Thrones is good.
it's weird because
Ain't gonna watch it.
it's weird because
Don't
Game of Thrones
care.
is not worth the watch because you're gonna just waste 70 hours only to be disappointed.
Do you know how many
tremendously.
episodes of One Piece I've watched? There's
Yeah,
no such
but One
thing
Piece
as
is
wasting.
good.
Yeah, One Piece is pretty great.
That's the thing. Like Game of Thrones was good until right about the time they diverted from the books, actually. Because the problem with Game of Thrones, I don't know if you know,
I don't know.
is that they
You know?
the
Asta.
the show got made faster.
Oh,
than the
of
books
course.
were
Are
written.
you kidding me?
So
That fat tub of lard can't write a book in like 30 minutes to save his life.
so it was incredible up until they started doing their own thing.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like if One Piece, like if it's the same thing happened with like, Dragon Ball. The moment like Akira Toriyama took his hands off the wheel, it just crashed and burned into 1,000 smoldering embers.
Yeah,
The same thing happens anytime you do like Speaking of like authors that have just like really shit the bed lately, like man, J.K. Rowling's really doubling down on that transphobia shit.
What is that? I don't even
So
know what that's about.
I
I
wrote a
stopped
book.
listening to her after there was the argument about whether or not Hermione was white. I was like, okay, I don't give a shit
Yeah.
about what she has to say anymore.
I really like. I couldn't give it like, and then oh my god. Okay, so like from what I understand, she used a pseudonym for writing the book under. So it's not under J.K. Rowling. It's under a different name. And apparently the name of the person that she wrote the book after was very like heavily involved in like some kind of like really inhumane treatment to like try to quote unquote fix trans people. And the book centers around an antagonist or a villain who is a cisgendered man who like tries to present himself as a woman to sneak into like bathrooms and like other areas where it's ladies only to get his prey, which is basically like the turf analogy for like, yeah, this is why we hate transgender people. And so she's like doubling and tripling down on that whole like nobody cares about your political views.
Yeah, but isn't this like the cuties thing? And I don't know J.K. Rowling. I don't know anything about her. I know that I stopped reading Harry Potter after 9 chapters of the 5th book because it was boring.
Oh my god,
boring
fifth book
central.
was terrible.
So
Man, nobody's talking to me.
What I
It's
will
like,
say
dog, you're the
is-
boy who lived. Fuck off.
yeah. Well, dude, I was like 15.
Yeah.
And like I got to like the 9th chapter and I was like, well, we're not at Hogwarts.
Yeah, what a
so
fucking
I'm not reading this anymore.
beta.
What I will say is that I think that some of those things like that and cuties are just really, really misguided artistic choices by
don't know.
people
Well, okay.
who are a little touched
I
in
would
the
say-
head. Because let's be honest, most artists are touched in the head.
I will say, and I'm not defending cuties, but I think it was one of those situations where somebody was trying to make. The idea was to make sure that the horrors of that kind of like, to make you feel uncomfortable about it, to bring to light that there's something wrong with like the child pageantry world.
Right.
Right? Like, so like, I think the intent was to be upfront in your face about it and make you uncomfortable to kind of like push you to understand like, hey, there's some fucked up shit going on. But instead they just made a bunch of bait for pedos.
Right.
Right? I think with J.K. Rowling, I think she actually like, I don't know, man. Like it feels too nuanced. Like Cuties was pretty like,
What is her content? What is her position? What is her argument against it?
I just think she doesn't like trans people. Like, she's been pretty open about like not being into that whole thing and like being quote unquote canceled, even though it's like, bitch, you ain't canceled.
That's such a weird thing about the internet, right? Is that now we're in this place where like even among the quote unquote like liberals that you would expect,
sure,
like Joe Rogan is a perfect example, right? Like 10 years ago, anybody would have told you that Joe Rogan was a Hollywood liberal cuck. You know, like anybody on the right would have been like, Joe Rogan, the Fear Factor guy. Oh, he's a Hollywood guy. He's definitely liberal.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you give
come to find out, Rogan
people.
is way more conservative.
Oh, yeah.
Than he is liberal.
I think he's more conservative than he knows.
Definitely. Like dude, because all the time he'll say stuff like, people think I support Trump. It's hilarious. And it's like,
well, you kind of have the same, you kind of espouse the same ideals that those people do. There are a lot of
things that you say. Now, to his credit, I don't think that Joe Rogan's a bad guy.
No. I don't think he's acting in bad faith.
I think that he is there's a little self-awareness
I think
that's
the problem,
there.
I think one of the bigger issues with Joe Rogan is that like he allows somebody's title to influence the way that he views things, right? So he'll have somebody who's like a doctor of psychology on, and they'll say something about how gender's not a spectrum. He'll be like, well, I had this doctor on that said gender wasn't a spectrum. And it's like, you're just kind of taking the note from like what their title is rather than the importance of what they're saying.
Right.
You know, anybody that gives that much credence to something that like Ben Shapiro says, I don't really have much patience for. But like, I also get that like, okay, you're clearly not doing this in a way where you are intentionally trying to activate a base of right-leaning, like alt-right conservatives. You're just having people on having conversations. You're probably too fucking high to recognize what you're actually doing. So it's like, I don't think that there's some master brain. Like, I mean, he's just got the biggest podcast in the world, of course.
I also think that he doesn't do that. It's almost like a Matt Mercer situation.
Kind of, yeah.
Where it's like, this was a great idea, and then it became this thing.
And he's just trying to keep up with it. And
yeah.
kind of like putting their own impressions on it.
It has a life of its own.
Yeah.
The Joe Rogan podcast has a life of its
past
own.
Joe Rogan, yeah.
Yeah, and like with Matt
it's
Mercer, with the Critical Role thing, it's like, you're automatically... When you get really popular, you're automatically going to have like a subset of haters.
Oh, of course.
And the more popular you get, the larger that base will get.
Oh, yeah.
So
you're a perfect example of somebody who hates people that are popular.
Yeah, well, I don't hate people strictly because they're popular. What I will say is, here's the thing. In my experience...
Of hating people that are popular?
Yes. In my experience of life...
Being a counterculturist?
Something being good... needs more than being popular.
That's fair.
Right? I mean, you would agree with that.
Oh, 100%.
As much shit as you give me, you know as well as I do that the music on the radio.
Oh, there are a lot of things
compared to
that like
independent artists.
Fuck, man. I refuse to acknowledge TikTok. I just refuse.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's something good to be had from it, but like from my standpoint, it's just a shittier Vine.
Well, there's good to be had from it in the sense of like the lunatics out there who have access to it.
Like dude, that one TikTok that I think I sent you, the one like, you want my gun? Come kiss me for it.
Yeah.
Like that shit
There's a lot of that shit on there.
Oh, yeah.
There's a guy that like ate a wasp nest. Like,
oh, fuck.
Just crazy people, man. But I think that it's like, I feel like it's sensation overload for us. Cause I was thinking when you were walking up, actually, like when you texted me that you were here and I was standing at the door and you were walking up, I was thinking, I feel really bad for how hard I went at Charlie last week about the YouTube video.
Why did you feel bad about that?
Well, the reason that I feel bad is that I feel like I have a habit of, I, as a person, feel things very deeply.
I accept your apology.
Listen, I have extreme emotion.
Sure.
Like,
beta.
It's the bard in me. Like, if I'm angry, I'm rageful. Like, if I'm sad, I'm super depressed. Like, I feel things very deeply. And so with that said, like, what Charlie did, it really annoyed me. You know, I stated my case last podcast, so I won't go into it. But
I forgot that we even talked about that.
Yeah, it was just
like half an hour.
The idea of him like posting the video, like calling for a hashtag, and then treating it like it was this revolutionary win. Mm-hmm. It annoyed me.
Well, I don't
but
disagree.
For some
with
reason, I was really impassioned about like how much it annoyed me to the point where I had decided like I'm not going to watch any more Charlie stuff. And then it occurred to me like, why would I have made a decision like that 10 years ago? Do you feel, and this is just a personal question,
Sure.
interested in your opinion, do you feel like there's been this perfect storm of Trump being the president and the internet now being more popular than ever, and we've got a global pandemic, and there's just so much going on? Do you feel yourself making decisions in a different way than you might have years ago when all of those things weren't factors?
Well, yeah. I mean, you could say that like the rate at which technology is increasing means that we are continually going to have to find this, like, we are going to have to continuously fight that there's something new that is unknown to us. Right? So, like, any time that there's a new TikTok or any new medium of anything, you have to kind of parse yourself through the, like, yeah, of course. Like, I think it's been exacerbated by Trump, but I think it's just the technology as a result. Like, in the same way that I don't think Trump is the root of the problem, he's not the cause, he's the symptom.
He's a symptom, yeah.
I think the same could be said for, like, about the internet. Like, just in general, man. Like,
yes.
We are so much more connected in on such a microscopic level.
Right.
That, like, something like a creator, like, I think this is why a lot of people, like, you know, like when iDubbbz was having that whole thing where everyone was calling him a simp because his girlfriend had an OnlyFans.
Right.
People were losing their minds over it because they had become so invested in him. You know what I mean? Like, they became invested in his life. And so, like, anytime something like that happens, especially to a creator that you feel connected with, like, say Rhett and Link came out and were like, we hate black people. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they would ever think that or why they would say something like that, but I would be almost as hurt as if a close friend of mine had come out that way. You
There's
know what
a
I mean?
real
So,
connection there. Yeah, heartbroken. Dude, with Dalia.
Yeah.
I was heartbroken.
I haven't seen you wear your Life Rips shirt
I love
since.
that guy, and I just, like, it's a thing where I don't know enough about it to take a firm stance, and so that leaves me in a space where
it was like, bom, bom, bom.
Oh, yeah, the curve.
He's like,
yeah,
mind processing the fucking
it's just it's now, you know, it is lonely. Like, you do feel like you lose because the connections that you have. I was thinking, like, you know, even in the 90s, if you wanted to learn about, like, what somebody's political opinions were, you know, that's a 3-hour conversation.
Yeah. Specifically
in your, you know, in your early 20s, when you spend a lot of time with friends and a lot of time drinking and, like, just partying and shit, like those kind of conversations, you know, conversations until 4 a.m. with your friends. Man. Like, but now you can learn pretty much where someone stands on any position
just by scrolling their Facebook page for a couple seconds. Yeah.
You know, like a friend of you, like I could post a meme and let you know in a matter of however long it takes you to read the thing where I stand on like 15 different issues.
Yeah.
And so that information is just like faster. Yeah. Now it's just so like, and I think that because the information is moving that way, we're training ourselves to think that way.
It's totally Pavlovian.
That's what the whole cancel 100%. Culture thing is about.
The ding on your phone is making your mouth water. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's Pavlovian. And so, I mean, like, to an extent, like, even like with creators and stuff, like, especially like when you get into someone's like Discord group or you have like a community that you're building around, like, even I'm sure there are probably some people who watch the Man Shorts channel and then have listened to some of your takes on the podcast and been like, I just can't believe that.
Oh, yeah,
I thought for sure he was a conservative.
Oh, yeah, I get it all the time.
I can't believe it. He betrayed me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a weird, it's almost like fucking China with like its, what do they call it? The numerical value for your worth as a citizen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like they have like that.
The credit system.
Yeah, the credit. It's like your political credits.
Yeah.
Like online. It's
well, that's what's really funny to me is that people will defend capitalism. People will die on the hill of defending capitalism in the name of, well, what would you say we have? What would you say we would do? Have a social credit system? And it's like, we kind of do, bro.
Yeah, we do. It's a different setup for it, but it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, like
it's called your follower count, dog. Like,
right. Yeah. Add me on the gram. Like,
that's kind of it. And so, like, I mean, I think that's also like, it's getting harder and harder to distinguish the line between who someone is online and who they are in real life. Because oftentimes, like, especially with internet personalities, like, it's pretty hard you would have to be an amazing fucking actor to be able to put up a facade for like someone like Rhett and Link.
Right.
For like decades.
Oh, yeah. And then you find out that they're like
butt buddies. Like,
Yeah.
it
Or
would
like,
blow your mind. Like, how could you, like, wow.
yeah. Or if you found, yeah. Or like to your point, if you found out something crazy, like they were in the Klan or something.
Yeah.
It's like,
What the fuck? Like, it goes
Yeah.
completely sideways to everything that they presented themselves as.
And that kind of shit never happened.
Not that they are. I'm not throwing out a conspiracy theory that Rhett and Link are gay for each other or in the Klan.
Well, I just like 30 years ago, that would have never happened.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty cut and dry. Who you were is who you were.
And I think I touched on it. I said something about it briefly last episode about how like the American hero is dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? I
In
mean,
a sense, yeah.
the idea of like, here's a guy, because like you look at with our election, like you look at Trump and Biden, and in neither of them do I see, and I see it in Joe Jorgensen, but you know, third party's always just chilling in the shadows.
Yep.
With all the answers.
And all the snake men. All the wizard folk.
There,
That's where the deep state is, bro.
there's nobody that's
Third
like
party.
there's nobody that's like a champion for, I don't know. I feel like in the 90s, you know, where there was like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
There were people that made you feel like this is a guy who you want to aspire to be.
Yeah.
And now all of those guys are like
Dead.
either billionaires or they're
Dead.
foreign, like
Yeah.
they're in other countries.
Or they've got some picture of them on Jeffrey Epstein's boats.
Yeah, but like you know what I mean. Like it's like people like Elon.
Oh, because tell me
or
you
Bill
didn't want to.
Gates,
I was gonna say,
like-
tell me you didn't want to be like Bill Clinton, like playing that saxophone, just slaying pussy everywhere.
Well, yeah. I mean, in the 90s at the time, it was cool.
Yeah.
You know, before like all of this shit came out. Oh, dude, did you see the thing about Trump's taxes?
No.
Apparently, the New York Times has reported that your boy hasn't paid taxes for 10 out of the last 15 years.
Of course not.
Which, by the way, it's like,
No shit.
am I supposed to be surprised about
Yeah,
this news?
it's like when people are like, "We're never gonna get Trump's grades." You think he's got grades, bro? You think he took classes?
you
You think that guy's college educated?
You think your boy studied for tests?
Like, are you retarded? Sorry, I didn't mean to use the R slur.
Yeah,
but,
you
like,
can't say the R word anymore,
know.
bro.
I know.
By the way, that's been an adjustment for me.
Yeah.
Because I am a person who was bullied and has dealt with that. So
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be that person.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think like no, continue. Sorry.
I just mean like there are words that
I respect it. So it's the same way. Like I don't say the N word. I try to
Right.
avoid any slurs at all times. Particularly just because like ultimately it is the expression with which the words are given that determine like whether or not they are incendiary. Right. So
there's
like,
the context and the person who's saying it.
yeah, you have to look like, you know, you have to kind of extrapolate from like the surroundings, right? So like, is this person speaking angrily? Are they speaking to a crowd of people? Are they like rallying around this like kind of concept? Are they skirting around it and then only using it in a joking fashion, but it's like wink, wink, nudge, nudge joking
Right.
fashion? Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's the real racism.
Yeah.
The real
dog
racism
whistling?
is quiet.
Yeah, it's dog whistling.
It's
We're
passive
going to take your
aggressive.
suburbs back, folks.
Yeah, dude. That
Like,
shit is fucking.
That's not a dog whistle. That's a fucking
Bro,
bark.
he fucking. What the fuck was he talking about? The people with good genes.
Dude,
What the fuck does that mean?
whites.
I mean,
Which is funny because like I'm pretty sure like if I'm not 100% sure, but if I were a bet man, I would say that Donald Trump is probably mostly like Irish in some way, shape, or form,
probably.
which means he would not have been considered white like 150 years ago.
Oh no, he would have been put on that WAP list,
Yeah.
the without papers list.
Oh, I was thinking about that wet ass P word list.
No, I was thinking about the without
Anyway.
papers stamp.
Let's stop talking about.
But
all
I
of
don't know.
this.
I just I feel like that social media has made things really, really fucking weird.
Yeah.
And if anything, I think it's made it easier for the racists to fucking hide and get around and
Absolutely.
have their little groups.
It's become well, and it's the same thing with like, you know, and I've talked about this before, but like I don't think that okay, sure, the number of people who are like, say, a Holocaust denier, technically the number has to have gone up because the amount of people in the world has gone up, but I
Right.
think the percentage has stayed pretty much plateaued. Same with like the flat earthers, the moon landing deniers, the deep staters, the QAnons. They're just very vocal. They're very loud. They have a very
Yeah.
loud megaphone. It's the same with like the Bernie or Bust guys.
See, this is your hope talking.
No. I genuinely believe that like the percentage, there are more people, but I think the percentage has stayed pretty much even. Like, yeah, there are dumb people. There are a lot of fucking idiots. I mean, Charles, we live in a society, bro.
Are you telling me about all the dum-dums?
Yeah.
When I was doing this to you last week?
I don't know if you knew this, but if you think about how dumb the average person is,
Yeah.
remember that half the people. No, I just think that like in general, I would say that I still, okay, sure, it's hope. Okay. I'll say it. I'll admit to that.
Yeah.
But I am hopeful that the majority of like these fringe groups, the alt-righters, the very far, like the ML, like the Marxist Leninists, they're very loud, but they are not representative of like a majority or in any way, shape, or form like a growing concern. They're just very vocal. I think actually, now that I do want to take that back, because I think with the rise of the alt-right, they've taken white supremacy and kind of like rebranded it into like, look, now we're not shaved heads and we're wearing suits and we're talking very clearly and we're like trying to be very open about it. And here's a comic called Friend World. Check it out. That's funny, right? Cookies in an oven, right? 6 million couldn't happen, right? And it's like, and then you kind of start falling down that pipeline. But I mean, I guess you could say the same for any. Like, it's just easier to access that kind of information because of the world that we live in.
Yeah. I just feel like, especially as a creator, like I feel like I feel like there's this line that I have to walk where it's like, because my goal as an entertainer is and always has been to like be as genuine as possible with people, because like I was just, and by the way, Tupac was trending on Twitter the other night, which was awesome because there was a bunch of fucking clips of him that I got to watch that I haven't seen in a long time. One of the clips that he did with MTV in like 94 when he's talking about like how money is so fucked up in this country and like how it's such a problem. And he's like, how do we have people that have like boats and then you've got people that can't eat?
Listen, man.
Like, it just doesn't make sense.
If you took like the last 8 or 9 zeros out of Jeff Bezos' bank account, he wouldn't fucking notice.
Oh, yeah.
He wouldn't notice.
For sure.
And you could fund healthcare with that. I'm not saying that that's the reasonable response to it, because I don't know what the reasonable like options are. Like, you know, I'm not smart. So it's like, I'm not coming out here with like big brain, like, well, if there's a minimum wage, then there should be a maximum wage. It's like, no, that's kind of not how capitalism
works. That's the other part of the problem, too, is like with politics and Facebook, is like people will get on there and be like, well, you see, in this case, the police, and it's like, I'm sorry, where did you go to law school?
Yeah, straight up.
None of you know
it was funny
anything.
Too, like,
and by the way, even if you do, even if you're an attorney, I'm sorry.
Good luck.
Do you have all of the case files?
Yeah.
You have copies of all of the evidence. Oh, interesting.
And you haven't shared that with anybody.
So
and you haven't made that public.
So you know everything.
Yeah.
And you're now, it's that idea, like that thing that I said about how Jordan Peterson does. It's this idea of, I'm going to teach you.
Like, the thing about Jordan Peterson that pisses me off the most, listen, man, okay, you're a psychologist, okay? And I get that, like, you have a rhetoric that appeals to young white straight cis males, right? That are like, hey, we feel like there's something going wrong with us, and it's about like personal like agency and like developing yourself. And I get it, and that's fine, and I understand why people get like brought over to you. But when you've made a career out of like triggering SJWs, and then you go on and you're like, well, I'm not a fucking political guy. I don't know why people keep calling me a political guy.
Yeah.
It's like, you break your bread on that shit, dog. Like, nobody cared about you until you started making these SJW videos and got into politics.
That's right.
Like, fuck off.
No one knew who he was.
Fuck off.
Until he was on Rogan.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Talking about social shit.
There's like this Dr. Sandra So or something. There's this like lady who went on and was like trying to debunk the idea that gender is a spectrum, which is stupid.
Oh, I saw that one. That was the one that annoyed me so bad because they spent like the first 9 minutes laughing and joking about how ridiculous it is to suggest that there are more than two genders. And then they immediately followed it up on like, well, you know, then you have the people like... Well,
I'm a very masculine woman. And it's like, wait. So if gender and sex are the same thing,
they legitimately brought up like actual hermaphrodites, and I was like,
well.
Right. Well, that's a very common. I noticed this. This is a very common thing between conservatives and Democrats. Democrats, in my opinion and experience, will present an idea as if it's a gray area, but it's really black and white. and Republicans will present it if it's black and white, and then immediately backpedal on it and make it gray.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
So they'll say shit like here, like an example with somebody I was talking to recently, a friend of mine online, about, I don't know if you saw the police that killed that autistic boy in Colorado. He was 13, unarmed, running away from him. They shot him 11 times.
Yeah.
And so this guy was like, well, this friend of mine and I were having a conversation about it, and I said, yeah, but what did he do, though? No, he was a white kid. Oh. And I was like, well, what did he do, though? And he was like, how could you even say that? And I was like,
Breonna Taylor's boyfriend sold drugs.
Correct.
So
like, that's the kind of shit that you say. So why can't we say it here? And the reason that we can't say it here is that you have to admit that there's a problem within the police force.
Oh, dude, it blows my mind that
and
people
until
are like,
you
well, it's just
do
a few
that,
bad apples. It's like,
people
I don't
won't
know,
even
man.
say that.
Listen,
people
man,
won't even say that. They'll say all cops are good.
If there's a couple bad apples in the bunch and they're fucking up the rest of the batch, I don't know. Throw the batch away and start a new batch of fucking apples, dog.
I wonder what the FDA regulations are on if you had a bag of apples and one of the
them
apples
was cyanide.
Yeah, one of the apples had fucking anthrax on it.
You'd probably
But none
throw
of the
away the
others
bushel.
did.
You'd probably fucking throw away the bushel. Jesus Christ.
Or at the very least, analyze the rest of the apples.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
There's,
and it's like, dude, and oh my god, I hate to say it, but like I had this conversation with this lady the other day. And she was like, well, I just don't understand why, like, I can't just vote Trump for life. Like, why he can't just be president for life. And I was like, oh, my God. You hate America.
You should have said,
you literally dislike America. The only recourse that I have is a bludgeon. What?
Did you tell her that he'll be there for life?
Well, I was like, well, if we don't vote him out this time, we're probably not going to. So you're probably going to get your way.
Dude, I said it like a year ago. I think that he's in office until he dies. Full stop.
Which
and
probably,
then I think Trump Jr. takes over.
Yeah, there was that one guy, I think it was like Jordan Klepper at the Trump rally or whatever, and this guy had a shirt that was like the Trump dynasty or whatever, and it was like Donald Trump, and it had like 8 years of president, and then it was like Ivanka and like all of the other relatives, and he was like, all of these people are only serving 1 term after Trump, and he was like, no, they all serve 2 terms. And he's like, yeah, 2024 to 2028. He's like, yeah, that's 8 years. That's 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, so funny.
Well,
but it's sad because he probably would vote, like, honestly, like if you gave people the option between like, here's Barron Jr. or an actual like conservative, they'd be like, well, Barron's a Trump.
I am genuinely like, I will say that I know that I've said like, you shouldn't be surprised that they'll support him no matter what. But I will say I am a bit surprised that seemingly no one has budged even after he straight up said, like, I don't know if I'll accept the results of the election.
He's literally said, like, the only way that he either wins or it was rigged. He's basically just full front, like, full ass, just like shitting in the wind.
You don't think that it was strategic for it to be said publicly that Roger Stone said to call for martial law 2 months ago or a month ago or whenever it was?
It's baffling to me.
It's boiling the frog, bro. It's small. It's small and smaller, and by the way, here's my position. You mentioned earlier that you think that these like flat earthers and Holocaust deniers and stuff are they're a minority, but they're loud because of the internet. I would argue that the good people are a minority that are megaphoned because of the internet. So this idea of like people that really want racial equality and want gender equality and want peace and want health care for everyone.
I mean, I guess if you want to be a fucking cynic about it, sure.
Well, here's the thing. All of those people would be online talking about it, right? All of the flat earthers don't have computers because some of them believe that they're aliens or stuff. So they don't have computers. Anybody that's like a social justice warrior or anybody that like legitimately just believes in, left and right aside, just progressing as a human species and being better.
Yeah.
All of those people are online making their voices heard about it.
Yeah.
So if that's the case and you consider how many people are online versus how many other people are just fucking walking around in the country.
It's amazing to me that
don't have the internet.
There are still so many, like I forget seeing the percentage, but it blew my mind the other day to see the percentage of households that don't have internet still.
Oh, dude.
It's like what 40, the fuck, man?
Like some crazy number, like 20% of the country can't read.
The fuck?
It would blow your mind. What is the literacy rate in this country?
BLAOW.
Let's see.
It's probably been like steadily declining.
Okay. Well, the World Fact Book reports that the U.S. has a literacy rate of 99%. I don't
doubt
believe that.
Do you think literacy just means like being able to read road signs? Because if so, then like sure. It's like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. It's like, well, he learned how to read by reading the back of like microwave meals. So you have to write out everything in like steps for him because he can't read more than like 3 words in a sentence.
Encino Man? Is that what you just said?
No, Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Oh,
when they're like,
I was thinking Encino Man because doesn't he learn how to read with like the burrito instructions too?
oh, I haven't seen Encino Man.
What?
Yeah, there's a lot of movies I haven't seen, dog.
One Christmas, I spent all by myself, and I watched Encino Man like 7 times in a row.
I did that with I forget which movie it was, but I remember like being young and just like having it on fucking repeat till like the tape died. I was one of those kids that would like, I don't want to watch a new movie. I want to watch the same movie that I've seen 100 times. Anyway, let's stop talking about how long have we been sitting here talking about this bullshit?
This is the National Center for Education Statistics. Apparently, 4 in 5 U.S. adults, or 79%, have English literacy.
Wow. Maybe you're on that spectrum, dog?
Maybe I'm the one, bro. Have English literacy skills sufficient to complete tasks that require comparing and contrasting information, paraphrasing, or... So 21% of the country can't compare and contrast information.
Yeah, well, those are big words.
And that's just like basic shit.
Yeah.
So, like, when you talk about something that requires critical thinking, like, I don't know,
same with,
electing your leaders.
Or even just, like, the law, for example. Like, legalese is a real thing. You know what I mean?
Like, for sure.
Shout out to Legal Edition.
Yeah, and Legal. By the way, if anybody ever hears this that knows Legal, tell that guy I want him to review our stuff. Do you know that guy?
I don't.
So, Legal is this guy who's an attorney from, I think, California.
It kind of sounds like in SpongeBob when he's like, Legal.
Yeah. He's an attorney, I think, in California, and he just gives his take on like
I'm
films.
sure I've seen like him on YouTube.
Probably.
Like, I've probably seen it, but skip by it.
You know those videos where experts will do stuff like former jewel thief watches, the Italian Job and tells you whether or not it's a real
voice
heist.
actor
Like,
reviews 20 shit voice actings.
Yeah. It's like that. So he watches legal movies. Like he did Liar Liar and My Cousin Vinny and what?
Anime. So
well, anyway, I want Legal to review our thing. So push it to him.
Yeah.
I want him to see it. Misfit of Demon King Academy took the hardest right turn to whatever you were saying I've ever seen.
Oh my! I was so disappointed.
And I was laughing the whole time.
I was so disappointed, even up to like the fucking Dragon Ball Z fusion dance between the 2 Necron sisters.
Oh, dude, yeah, I was totally
fucking
gonna say
garbage.
That was definitely some fusion shit.
Oh my god! They even had like the 2 voices going over each other at the same time. Like, oh my god!
You have to admit though that him dying and then coming back was gangster.
Oh yeah,
like
of course he did.
Because there was a real moment where I was like, did he actually? And then he's like, did you think that just by destroying my source you could kill me? And I was like,
course.
Oh, Anos,
yeah, like you never change.
He's like an old familiar friend. Like he's
also
really become...
I did really love when like he brought the 3rd chick home with them, and like his dad was like, son, is that a 3rd one? And she's like, no, well, he just said that I'm his magic now. And his mom was like, you fucking dog, you.
Yeah. 10,000 grandkids.
What the hell?
What the hell are we going to do?
Oh, man, we're going to need to make a whole lot more mushroom gratin.
Speaking of hard right turns, I guess it's a hard left turn.
Sure.
I don't know what
Fire
the
Force?
idiom is. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it was good lore. I'm surprised it didn't put the connection together between Joker and Burns before.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the only thing that occurred to me.
Sure.
Because, last week we had the discussion, and I remember you said it like, nobody fucks with Burns, nobody fucks with Joker, nobody fucks with Benny Morrow. And now to have all 3 of them together. And, like, within the first, 3 minutes of the new episode, I was like... Burns is on their side.
Yeah.
So now the 3 of them are on the same side.
Oh, yeah. Well, and they're going to fuck.
I mean,
shit.
Between the 3 of them and Arthur and Shinra.
Dude, are
they'll
you kidding
take down and what's the other guy's name? Ogun.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, because he
Tattoos
fucking threw down.
Oh, yeah, dude. Well, and then
in front of that other place.
Was the trumpet dude, the music dude, takes fire and turns into ice.
Oh, yeah. It's
name.
like...
There was a part of me that was disappointed because I wanted at least some...
Kareem.
That's
his name.
At least some... I don't know whether it would be just kind of like a... Whoa. Like, they start fighting and he's like, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not who you're trying to fight. And then be like, oh, okay. Because I just want more Joker shit, dog. Like,
Yeah, I know.
come on, man. Like, give me some more of that IV drip. Like, come on. I just need another patch. Just give me another fentanyl patch.
I have a feeling that though that
I have problems.
this one's gonna lead to a big fight with, and also something tells me that we're going to soon reach a place where there's a division within the fire force. Like there's a public division, because right now we're just kind of like investigating. But I feel like once Burns,
they're setting it up, dog.
Yeah, dude. Once they get to a place, it's going to be like, okay, well, everybody in the second and the fourth and the third are all together, and then versus everybody else.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think that's what's most interesting about having Burns like be on their side, because like he is in the first, which is the most highly connected to the church.
Right.
Of all of them. So if he's like, I don't know.
It's a really weird roundabout way too of them being like, it's just frustrating when anime does this because it feels insulting, but like, I don't know, there could have been a number of reasons that it happened this way in writing, but it just feels insulting because it's like Burns is like, well, so I guess now we've got to look at Hajime. And turns out that, Giovanni, and it's like, oh, you mean the guy that tried to kill everyone?
Yeah.
You think he might have something to do with what's going on, dude?
I don't know, the guy that fucked Vulcan's life up?
How did you figure that out, Detective Burns?
I don't know, maybe it was the Plague Doctor mask? Was that your first fucking guess?
Is it his
Nobody wearing a Plague
laugh?
Doctor mask is fucking is good.
Yeah, they're
Jesus
always
Christ.
evil. And ReZero.
I love ReZero.
Bro.
It's so good.
It was so hardcore.
Oh, dude, especially like
that furry-eyed bitch has got some tricks cooked up her sleeve. No way, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
Are you kidding me? As soon as she said the word contract, I was like, uh-oh.
I was like, oh, yes.
And then all the other witches show up.
Yeah.
And then Satella's there.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, and also, like, I thought it was really clever, like, they do a really good job of like giving you like really fucked up moments, but then not letting you like hang on it. You know what I mean? Like they're really good about like dropping something and then just dipping away from it. You know, like
yeah.
Like when Rem was there and he was like, "What the fuck?" And then it turned out to just be the Witch of Lust, and she was like, "Well, I just kind of I don't know."
And that was weird too because it was like, is she? So are we to assume that the Witch of who's the bad one?
Satella.
What is she the witch of?
Envy.
Okay. Which is what, different than greed?
And yeah, greed is echidna. Envy is like she wants everything. She wants like I think the idea is
those
like,
are the same thing.
Well, I mean they all kind of play into each other, right? Like gluttony, you want to eat everything. Wrath, you want to destroy everything. Like you can kind of
I guess
break
there
it
is a
down to
difference
that.
between wanting everything and then wanting and coveting.
Yeah,
things.
coveting what other people have.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I guess there's a difference there.
Which is, I think, the whole point why she was like, "No, Subaru's mine. I get him. None of you." Like she's the one that put like her curse on him, like inside, like went deep inside him, like before any of the other ones got near him. That's why like all the other witches are like, "No, I want some of this."
Yeah,
which is bizarre. Why do you have a witch harem?
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, dude. And by the way, it's not just the witches.
Yeah,
it seems like any woman that's around him is into him.
Even like Petra, it's like, dog, she's like 11.
Well, even
the fuck,
even Ram, when you consider the way that Ram acts, she still puts up with a lot of shit from him.
She's still kind of like
she's still kind of into him, I think.
Oh yeah.
So it is very weird in that way. And then also like I think they did a really smart thing with leaving that last episode off with Roswell and that monologue and the bunnies.
Wait, wasn't that the previous episode?
No, I think that was last episode.
Could have sworn like the bunnies thing happened and then he wakes up and then it's like the witch's tea party. And that was the episode where they all show up in the same spot.
Yeah.
I don't think that ended with Roswell and the bunnies.
That's what just happened. This last episode was the tea party.
Yeah, but I thought Roswell with like the whole like weird like you should be like me and give everything to her and like, and then like the bunnies eat him and then Subaru wakes up and then like all that weird shit happens. And Satella's there, and then he...
Oh, yeah, with Amelia.
I was going to say, like, didn't something else happen?
So there was another episode. Oh, I'm thinking of when he died in Amelia's arms.
Yeah. That was the previous death.
There was so much crazy going on that you could really feel this reset.
Oh,
maybe it was just me, but like
no, it was for realsies.
When he woke back up and she was there, I was like, oh fuck, we're back here.
Yeah.
Like, I really felt that reset.
Yeah, and then
to just immediately step into the witch tea party, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the shit was popping off, man. Like, I don't know, because, like, I also started, like, kind of, like, rewatching it with Cheyenne. And it is odd seeing, like, kind of, like, the ripples. Like, if you go back and watch, like, the first season, it's very evident. Like, it wasn't... they do a very good job of being very, like, secretive about the way that they're, like, planting the seeds.
Yeah.
And everything. Like, even with, like, Beatrice. When you see her reading the book and it still has stuff in it before it gets to the point where it doesn't have any pages in the book anymore.
Yeah.
And like how she responds to him, like even in that sense, like even at the beginning.
So let me understand this. You're still for the Witch of Greed even after learning what she did to Beatrice?
Yeah.
Bro.
Not what she did to Beatrice, what she did to the fucking like little chibi pink girl. Making a bunch of them and like leaving her in like a crystal to try to make like an everlasting life shit. I'm pretty sure
think
Beatrice,
that's not as bad as Beatrice.
I'm pretty sure Beatrice and Rosewall are both in cahoots with Satella, not Echidna.
I guess. So you think
Pretty
that
sure.
he did that in some form to, like she did that as a way to punish Beatrice?
Satella? Like, wait,
The Echidna
yeah, what about her?
put Beatrice in this prison of,
I mean, they made a contract.
just wait here for this person. Oh my God, you sound like her.
Yeah, well, all I'm saying, dude, don't make contracts with witches. No shit.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd still make a contract with her, but I'm not saying that you should.
So you would make a contract with Echidna, but nobody
dude,
else should.
She's awesome.
Oh my God, she's awful.
She's adorable.
When I was so pissed when I found out about her doing that to Beatrice.
They needed to, although I am glad that they did the way that like that like crazy moment with like the 360 panning like in the fucking Goblin Slayer bullshit where it's like spinning around her and she's just going off and off and off and she's like, you know, I need it.
Well, just the idea of like, here's a fucked up present you don't want. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Here's another one. I was just like, well, this is awful.
Yeah.
And then it makes me feel like the future is going to be even worse.
Oh yeah, it's just a constant down, dude. That's like one of my favorite things about like the difference between like Subaru and Kozma from Konosuba. On the surface, you would think like, oh, okay, Subaru, he's in another world. There's like a couple maids that love him. There's a girl that he's in love with. He goes on adventures. You know, like if you really skim the surface, it seems pretty like lush. Like he lives in a mansion with a bunch of girls. You know, like and he's pretty much alone with them all the time. And then Cosma's like, fuck man, I got this bullshit goddess that can only do fucking party tricks. A little chibi girl that likes to explode all over the place constantly. Right. And then a fucking paladin who likes to get the shit beat out of her for pleasure. My life sucks. And Subaru's like, are you, I don't know if you knew this. And then, of course, like, Naofumi's over there like, you guys don't even fucking know what I've been through.
Yeah. Well, I just think that...
Season 2, baby!
Yeah, it's really, really good. I just feel like it's an interesting position with this protagonist because he brought all of this on himself.
Yeah.
You know, like, in terms of his...
And, well, actually, you could say the same for, like, Cosma, though, like... Because she's literally sitting there at the goddess chair and is like eating potato chips while he's deciding what weapon. Like, she's like, you're going to this world. You can bring one item of your choosing that can do anything. We're talking literally anything. Okay. Right. Take your pick on what you want and get the fuck out of here. I got shit to do. And he's like, I can take one thing that I want. Then fuck it. I'm taking you. And she's like, no. And then we both get shot off.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could have picked like a sword that cuts through anything.
Well, that's like what I mean about Subaru. It's like you could have walked away the first time.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know. It's
I've been given a second chance at life. I'm gonna go sell some apples. Like this guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a regular job. But no, you decided to keep going back to the Bowel Hunter bitch.
Just not even like necessarily a regular job. It's just like, obviously there's magic in that world. There's cool, crazy stuff going on all over the place.
I feel like
It's just like,
honestly though,
what I
like-
mean is like, it's not a situation with like a Shinra or an Asta where it's like, I'm joining this group because I want to help save the world.
Right.
And then all of this shit happens and they just kind of
But
have
I feel
to
like,
deal. Whereas
although-
Natsuki has made every choice. He could walk away whenever he
I don't
wants.
think he could though, man. He's got the stench of the witch on him. Like anyone with like any grain of like magical ability is gonna be like, yo, you smell like a fucking witch, dog. Like he's gonna run into Beetlejuice at some point.
Well, dude,
He's gonna run into the witch's cult at some point. He's gonna like.
Is he though?
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, what about
So tell us,
Ram's
picked him.
speech? What about Rem's feel bad for me speech in the city when she's like, we can just run away? And
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
how do you know?
Because it's like the whole.
If it doesn't work, he can try again. I just mean like he's
getting
slamming his head against a brick wall over and over and complaining about it while it's happening, and that's annoying.
He's not really complaining about it.
Kind of.
You seem to have this weird feeling about ReZero characters where everybody except for Ram is like, feel bad for me, and it's like, no, they're just.
I don't feel that way about Beatrice. Beatrice hasn't asked anyone to feel bad for her.
Yeah. Yes, she did when she was like, are you going to be that one? I don't think you will, so just end me. It's like, aw, either love me or kill me. Like, get over yourself, Beatrice.
That's not her fault. Echidna put her in that position.
Yeah, it's not Rem's fault that Ram's horn broke.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So I'm supposed to feel bad for Rem because
No.
Ram's horn broke.
No, I'm not saying you should feel bad for Rem either. I don't feel bad for Rem. I have not once ever been like, yeah, well, I mean, but she, you should feel bad for her though, dog. It's like, no, she's awesome and that's why I like her. She's also very supportive of everyone around her. Unlike Ram, who's like, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And I don't see why you like that.
That's the kind of attitude I want. That's the kind of attitude I like in leading ladies. It's just like,
Yeah, but neither of them are leading ladies.
yeah, that's true. They are.
They're
Ram is
supplemental
the leading lady in my mind. I could not.
You and Garfield can go.
I couldn't give a fuck less about Amelia if you paid me.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
It is bizarre, man. Like, again, going back to the beginning, like, first, like, half of the first season, it's all Amelia. And she's, like, actually does magic and actually does some cool stuff and is actually, like, an interesting character. And then by season 2, it's like, Subaru. And it's like, oh my God, get fucked, bitch.
I disagree. I thought she was cool, like, initially. And then as soon as we were in the mansion, I was like, all right, I'm over this. I'm over this chick.
Yeah, because you fell in love with Ram immediately and was
Well,
like,
yeah.
oh, that bitch.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, and Beatrice
her and
too.
Beatrice.
Beatrice is
The
awesome.
two lollies, that's my jam.
They're awesome.
You want to go watch Cuties too? Like, is that your take?
I'm a pedophile now.
No, you
because
just like
I
lollies.
okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Listen, man, they can
so
be
you don't like Rem.
Rem is way more.
You're not
like,
allowed
filled
to,
out.
just so everyone's aware, and now that it's out there, you're not allowed to like child characters. So any of you pedos out there watching Stranger Things better pack it up. Because in Justin's world,
Yeah.
if you like kids,
If you're into kids, that's
you're a
fucked.
pedophile.
There's a difference. Ram and Rem are not 12. Beatrice is like 400 years old.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying they have a lolly body type.
I don't care what their body looks like. I care about their characters.
Sure.
Oh
Sure.
my God.
They both happen to be that way.
I refuse
and they're your two
to
favorites.
defend the characters that I like.
Echidna's a little bussy, and you're like, oh my God, she's got hairy eyebrows.
Yeah, you're right. That is weird.
Yeah.
That's a normal thing. Hairy eyebrows.
Hey man, I'm surprised you don't like Daphne.
It's not. They're not eyebrows.
You don't
They're
like Gluttony?
eyelashes. Fur on her eyes. That's not normal.
I will say that actually the Witch of Lust is the cutest one.
The one that's tied up.
No, that's Gluttony.
She's awful.
Gluttony
I don't like
is
that
the tied
one
up one.
at all. The witch of lust is the one that's like, hey,
She's got the
I was
scarf.
just fucking with your head and I didn't even know it.
No, the one with the
Uh-oh.
scarf that's kind of like embarrassed all the time. She reminds me of Gray.
She was the one that was
set herself up as somebody else.
she was the one that was
just like
appearing to be
Gray,
Rem.
who I like as well in Black Clover. The one that's
Yeah.
always like embarrassed by herself and like, I need to turn into something else because I'm embarrassed.
I don't trust her, bruh.
I didn't say I trust her. I just
I don't
said
trust
she's cute.
that whole like when he calls her
Whatever,
out.
dude.
When Subaru calls her out and he's like, what are you doing here? Who are you? And she's like, oh no, I don't know what happened. And it's like,
She's just nervous. It's kind of cute.
She's sus.
It's kind of cute.
Imposter.
Kind of cute.
Oh, is it like cutie?
No.
Like cuties?
No. I
Because
don't find any
she's
sexual
a little
enjoyment
girl.
from her. Also,
okay.
again, over 400 years old, there's a difference.
Beatrice
Listen,
is
man,
over
I don't
400
mind you
years
liking.
old.
I don't mind you liking the lolly type. I just wanted to trigger you, and it works like a charm.
It's annoying because
Episode 70, where we get canceled. This is what's happening.
This is it. Well, it was a good
Yeah,
run.
hey man, 70 episodes
fun
is fun
while it
Yeah, man.
lasted. But
Oh,
you know,
man.
that's another
We're
thing
gonna get
too.
blasted by people on the left and the right. It's
I
gonna
think
be great.
that's another thing too. I think that that people are more and more less given the opportunity to explain themselves,
Oh, for
and people are less good at explaining themselves.
Oh, yeah.
It seems very easy to me. Like people like.
God, I've been drinking so much
people
water.
are
I
always
gotta
like,
piss like
well,
a
how would
fucking hydrant? How long is
it's like
this podcast?
It's like, well, people would have, people said that you said this, and so what is your response to that? And it's like, well, first of all, you tell the truth. That seems really easy. So people are like, oh, well, what would you do if you were accused of sexual assault? I would say I would vehemently deny it immediately.
Yeah.
Because
You think
I know
I'm getting
that I didn't
any kind of
do
action?
it.
Are you
And it's
kidding
like,
me?
well, what would you do if you were accused of saying something racist 10 years ago? And it's like, well, I would verify whether or not I said it.
And if I did,
And then if I did, I would apologize for it.
Yeah.
And if I didn't, I would deny it. Like, it seems very easy, but any of those people that say like, oh, how would you handle that? It's like, you're guilty of something.
Oh, yeah.
You don't tell the truth. And so that's the thing that's a
It's-
scenario
dude,
that's problematic for you.
it's my favorite. That and people like, oh, we're gonna get canceled. Gonna get canceled for that. It's like, no, you just had a shitty take, dog. It's not because you're right and the SJWs can't handle it.
Also,
it's because you're fucking retarded.
Nobody knows who you are anyway.
Yeah, you smooth
It's
brain
always
incel.
those people. It's always the people that have like 200,000 subs that are like, oh, well, hopefully this doesn't get me canceled. And it's like, you're a blip, bruh. You're barely
doesn't
a
matter.
blip.
Doesn't
Like,
matter.
People don't know you. You are acting like you're The Rock.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson.
You're acting like, oh man, my career's gonna be over. Like, what career?
Yeah, you're a fucking YouTuber, dog. Like, calm down.
Also,
You got a pretty cool setup. You got enough money coming in. It's fine. You're doing okay. It's like Donald Trump. It's like, I'm sure, like, I think it was like, I think her last name, Michelle Wolf, at the Correspondence Center one year was like,
yeah.
I don't think he's very rich. Like, I think in Idaho you're rich, but in New York you're doing okay. And it's like, yeah, probably. I don't think
Yeah.
he even tops, like, I think that's part of the reason why he, like, dislikes, like, Microsoft and Jeff Bezos and all them is because they're richer than he is.
Yeah.
Because all it comes down to with Donald Trump, like, and I don't see how people don't understand this. It's just a matter of whether or not, like, it's all about publicity.
He's a salesman. I said this to my
That's
mom.
It's even like, he was on Fox and Friends, and they were like asking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and he was like, "Well, she voted for me one time.
Right.
Like, she voted with me one time,
That's all that's in his
and that's
head.
all that matters." It was
Yeah.
the same when, I lose track of all the people that die and people who are important, but like, God damn it. Never mind. I'm not going to bring it up because I'm going to feel bad for forgetting the guy's name, and I'm not going to say
Well,
it.
no, I said to my mom the other day, I was like, he's a salesman that became president.
Yeah.
Period. That's all he is, by
And
the way.
not only that, but
I was
he,
thinking that.
he is
he's not a businessman.
He's been pushing snake venom and giving you, like, he's been pushing cobra venom, and he's been pushing snake oil.
Yeah.
And now he's president. And
That's
and that's
the thing.
what his
like,
presidency is.
He's not a businessman. He's not an entrepreneur.
No.
He's a salesman. And he's a hell of a good salesman. He is.
I mean, Trump
got
vodka,
elected.
Trump steaks, Trump casinos. Like,
I'm not talking about the success of the business.
I'm talking about the things that he sells. Typically, like,
Here's the thing. If you're a salesman and you work for a used car dealer, and you know that 1 out of 3 of those cars that go off the lot are not good cars, but you're really good at selling them, it doesn't change the fact that you're a good salesman.
Sure.
So what I'm saying to you is,
I've
like,
got to pee.
in spite
so
of all of
fucking
his,
bad. How long is this podcast going for?
We're almost done.
Oh my god, it's like a fire hose.
In spite
I'm
of
trying to
all
stay
of
hydrated,
his
bro. That's why I've got
failed-
this gallon chug of water that
in
I've been
spite
drinking.
of all of his failed
Jesus
businesses
Christ. I
and how
can't think,
badly
dog.
everything goes, he's still an excellent salesman. That's how we got there in the first place. So
Do we have enough B-roll? Can we cut this one short?
Yeah.
I also
Uh-oh.
dude. I also I was putting. Did you just like start the symbols? Cut them off.
Well, I went too far forward in the thing, but we're about to hit the symbols of freedom.
That's funny.
So
Also, I have this blister on my palm from
oh, I know.
No, well, I was gonna say.
I know what it's like.
I was
bro.
actually gonna say dog. It's because I fucking was trying to put in a new rack for mop heads and stuff.
Oh.
And it's been really fucking with my ability to jack off. I ain't using my left hand. Are you kidding me? That's some kind of Neanderthal.
I'm glad. The hour we spent talking about society and politics and even the art and beauty of anime, and it's good to wrap it up with you talking about masturbation.
Yeah. I haven't been able to.
Everything comes full circle, I guess.
There are two valves that are just ready to burst.
Okay, all right. Everybody follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at NoBigBanana. Send us emails at nobigbanana@gmail.com. And click.
Hurry it the fuck up! Hurry this ending up.
What do you want me to do about it?
Just fucking do the thing. Do the. Oh, this is the last thing I'm gonna say.
Gallon
Oh my
water
god!
challenge.
I'm not doing a challenge. I just need to pee.